Aloha everyone, it's Mitchell Ornelas, osteopathic family resident here in Seattle, Washington. Coming at you again for another journal video for our Indigenous Minded YouTube channel. So yeah, get right into it. So I'm still on my community medicine rotation. Last weekend I spent time with family up north, and this weekend I decided to stay here in Seattle to work on some things for me and just to have some time for myself. This past Monday I had clinic. It was in the morning and the afternoon. It's pretty good. I don't think there was anything that's like particularly sticking out. I know one patient I've been trying to contact throughout the week. It was about getting an x-ray for their shoulder because they had an accident, and we don't have x-ray at our clinic, but we're connected with the hospital that we work with residency, and they were supposed to get it, and I still didn't see it come up, so I'm not exactly sure. I'm going to try to follow up on it tomorrow because I have clinic tomorrow, but it's kind of a tough thing. That's one thing I learned early on, is like trying to follow up on imaging, because clinic's usually Monday through Friday kind of thing. If someone has a fracture, you need them to be able to get in to have it like something casted or like a brace or something, so a little bit concerned on that. I'm not sure what's going on with that. It's kind of important to follow up on, continuing to try to follow up on. So that was a full day of clinic. Tuesday, I was able to go to the food bank in the morning, which was great. And just learn about that resource that we offer patients, and being able to have that resource close to the clinic, close to where I am now, where I live, but it's helping like sack lunches, a lot of food that came in, just unloading, loading. It was kind of cool to check that out, be a part of that. Broke down some cardboard boxes, doing things that we don't really do, it was non-clinical, like outside the hospital, so it was a good experience, and to meet people that are doing some good work. Then I had didactics Tuesday afternoon. It was good didactics. I'm trying to think if there's anything particular. There's some things happening with our hospital that we're trying to keep tabs on, just with a lot of our staff, and might be some potential changes, so seeing how that works out. And that was probably the big thing that stuck out, but a lot of things happening on service and the OB service that we're trying to make adjustments and support each other. I'm trying to think if there's anything particular else that I really wanted to bring up. Talked about musculoskeletal injuries, like in the wrist. That was good. Took some notes on that. Different type of fractures, hand and wrist. But yeah, then we had that. Then Wednesday morning I had time to like self-study and work on some things, catch up on some things. And in the afternoon I had needle exchange, which was a great experience as well for me, working in needle exchange, like close by as well, downtown. Just the different patients that come through there, have like a 1-for-1 exchange there, working with the people, like stocking up and just being a resource for people to come in. Thing is important, and it's great for like prevention. I know there's some people feel a certain way about it, but I think it's very important to have that resource available for people, for whatever severity or situation that they're in. Just having that resource is important. Learning a lot about like the different needle sizes and the different terminology, like bee stinger for a smaller one they might use for like your hand, for a lot of the veins in your hand, versus some other deeper ones depending on where you're using it, just to have cleaner resources for them. And I think there's providers at that site, and counselors as well. So I think the big thing I took away was just being able to greet people and be there. There's another avenue and resource for people, because a lot of these people in this population are kind of pushed away, especially if they're using a lot of the people that are using this resource use heroin intravenously. So a lot of the situations that they're encountering other providers or other people is sometimes negative. So just being positive and talking to them. There's a lot of people that have been clean as well, or providing resources for other like communities. Sometimes they can, like one person is like designated, and it was just kind of cool to kind of hear that and help out and just kind of learn what they do, because these, like, again, these are resources that we a lot of times will provide for patients, like, oh, check this out. But now that I've actually been there, it's like, okay, kind of understand this. And Thursday I had clinic in the morning, which is pretty good. I don't think there's anything particular sticking out for me on that experience. I think it was a pretty good clinic day. And then in the afternoon I got to go check out another area. It was the African American Elders Program, which is connected with the CCS, so one of the Catholic churches, or the Catholic Church like system or something. And I got to go with a social worker to a couple homes, and their resources for a lot of the elderly African American community, where that are like, a lot of these patients are like frail, and don't quite, and they're still living independently. So it was a great experience for me, understanding some of the housing situations for some patients, and walking into like an elder's home that may or may not be frail is interesting, because you kind of see how their house is set up. Certain things are positioned a certain way to make their lives easier, so they can maneuver around their house or what they need. I think it was a good experience for me to connect with these patients, and I think for this population, they focus. I mean, maybe because I was there too, as a doc, as a provider. They talk about the appointments they have coming up and what are the ailments that they're dealing with, and this resource is for them. Connecting them with other resources, or transportation is a big thing. Just being able to get out of their home and get to their appointments is huge. Like walking upstairs, or if there's a rug that has like a crease in it or something, or fold in it, can make it very difficult for someone. And just kind of understanding that, and understanding your patient, I think, is kind of a reminder for me. And just taking your time and trying to understand people, meet them on their level. So that was great. I went to a few homes, kind of understanding the history of the program was great. And then Friday in the morning, I was able to go check out one of our sister clinics that was in the International District area. And that was a great morning, working with one of my co-residents, my uppers, and just learning the flow, what it's like to work at that clinic. Working with a different population than I've been typically working with. But that clinic as a whole kind of serves and incorporates, or its mission is to incorporate working with a lot of the populations I plan to work with now and in the future, which is Pacific Islanders. So that was good. It was good to kind of see. They use the EMR that I was using in med school, NextGen, so it's kind of like a reminder of NextGen. When we first got into residency here, we used a couple different EMRs, and I was like kind of missing it. So it's kind of interesting to see that again. Learning how they work with a lot of their populations may speak a different language than the providers, so working with translators. So that was great. The afternoon I had psychiatry rounds, which didn't really have a lot for me, so I was available at our hospital nearby, and I was just trying to, I think for me, using that time to review psychiatry and psychology. I think looking at things for level 3 and like reading some of my resources has been good. And then this weekend, like I mentioned, I just stayed here. Friday night we have a DO at one of our fellow residencies that is an upper, and she hosts like a monthly OMT session, so osteopathic manipulative treatment sessions, and I was able to attend, being on this outpatient rotation. So I was able to help her facilitate this meeting and lend my, expertise, I guess, in osteopathic medicine. It was great, kind of learning like how much I do know and how much is my style. And one of my co-residents was also able to come, so that was great. And we're focusing on upper thoracic, so it was great. Talking about soft tissue, doing some counter strain for like posterior ribs, doing some muscle energy for thoracics. being able to just do kind of show them like my head to toe exam and what I like to do treatment wise. And a lot of people that are motivated to learn about osteopathic medicine was great. And then I was able to hang out with some of these other residents that night, and that was fun. Had like a bonfire, played some games. Quick Wits is a fun game. And then last night I was able to hang out with some of my other residents here in my program. Had like a friend's Thanksgiving type thing because a lot of us are going to be away or working during Thanksgiving. So I ate some good food, hung out. It was good times. Played some good music I like to listen to, reggae and island reggae, hip hop, and drank some kava. It was a good time. And then today, just kind of, then yesterday I was able to do my laundry, which was nice. Got to work out in here, just kind of getting ready for the week. This is kind of a short week for me. I'm actually heading back to Oregon for Thanksgiving, thankfully. So, just kind of did some more emails and things tonight, just kind of enjoying the weekend that I had for myself for one of these weekends. But yeah, so coming up this week, I have clinic tomorrow all day. Tuesday, I have the food bank in the morning, have didactics, and then planning to head to Oregon for a bit. And doing some other life things along the way. So that pretty much, it was a pretty good week. Pretty good things I got to do. Appreciate everyone's support. Continue to keep it mission-minded, keep it indigenous-minded. All right. Aloha.